Hello everyone and welcome to So Many Games of Time. Today we will be playing Agents of Smersh, the Epic Edition. Alright, so this is actually a very straightforward and quite easy game to play. If you've ever played Eldritch Horror, I guess, although that's a little bit more complicated. If you've played Tales of Arabian Nights before, a lot of stuff will feel very similar. Okay, so what are we supposed to do? We are supposed to stop this guy, who is Dr. Lobo. This is the rounds. We start here, right? And as we're doing stuff, we will of course move forward, and hopefully he will not move that way, because then we might have to encounter him earlier. He has a henchman. She, and she's called Darling. More about her later. And basically, we're going to be going around trying to get intel. Because if we get 4 intel, you can see here 1 player, 4 intel. If we get 4 intel, then we can challenge her. And best is to get her out of the way before we meet Dr. Lobo. What else do we have? All these here are advanced skills. If I get them, I'll put them here at the bottom, right? These are hit tokens. These will be used for the confrontation, the showdown with Darling and Dr. Lobo. These are UN chopper tokens. I forgot the exact name. Basically, if you have a token like that, you can instantly go anywhere on the map that you want. It's pretty powerful. Then here we have the dice. These are the metal ones. These are the plastic ones. Metal ones are really, really heavy because they're metal. So I'll see if I continuously use the metal ones or switch to plastic after a while. Also depending on their role, to be honest. I don't have a dice jail, but yeah. Then you have all these cards here, because every time you move anywhere, you will have wherever you end up, you will have an encounter. So if it's in Africa, you will draw from the Africa pile, and so on. So on that card, you'll see that later, it will have 3 sections. First of all, describing what's going to happen. That's the first section with a number. Let's say 24. Then the second section will have several options, could range from 4 to even 9 that I've seen. You choose one of them, so that'll become a number like 24, 5, and then you roll the fate die, which is this one. Oh, this one. And then you check all those numbers, let's say 24, 5, 3. Then you take the book of, not the story book, but the encounter book, and you read out what happens. And when we reach these moments here, there will be intel placed on each enemy base. And you can also see in each spot there's like icons. For example, this icon refers to spycraft. If you go there and you successfully complete an encounter, you get to increase that skill. Now I'm with Jean Leon. You might know him from the movie Leon. And he gains the bonus on his location even if he fails his encounter. So that's always really good. So some of them are the basic skills. You can see spycraft, persuasion, deception, athletics, hand-to-hand. And we also have resolve, but has nothing to do with that. But then you also have advanced skills. So somewhere on these places, you could also go there and have that. And then there's also other stuff, other icons, like for example, lightning and so on. Lightning is resolve. So you can see we also have the map. Now I put the board here. I'm actually covering up. Normally the gadget card should be here, but because of space issues, I decided to do that. Okay. Also, these things are normally on the side of the board, but I think it looks better that way. You can see there's like a little bit of a, it's not a crease, but it's like a shape here. So if anybody knows how to get it out of neoprene mats, get them nice and straight again, let me know. Of course, I could always Google, but I always seem to forget. Okay, so anyway, also each continent has a special action. It always says spending intel, so you can, for example, spend 1 intel to draw gear, right? Here you spend 1 intel to gain one of these choppers. Here you spend 2 intel to gain an advanced skill. Here you spend 2 intel to raise a skill, so one of the basic ones. And here you spend 1 intel to discard a status. One of these statuses is, for example, watch, because Jean Leon starts with watch. And that means when any player would advance Dr. Lobo as a result of failing an encounter, I can spend 1 resolve to stop him. Or I can also use a card. I can discard it and reroll all the dice in the test that I failed. so that's also nice. Furthermore, we also have a secret mission, and you start the game with 2 secret missions. I have Africa Casablanca, where I investigate Pierre's mansion, and if I complete it, so basically it's just an encounter. If the encounter works, if it's completed, then you also do your secret mission. So I could get 2 intel or gain status lucky. In Asia, Beijing, I can steal the prototype microchip, gain 1 intel, or gain 1 advanced skill. I think in this case it's electronics. Yeah. And I start also with one of the gear, one gadget, card. It's a flash grenade. You roll any number of dice after you fail a test roll. You must keep the second roll. So it's pretty nice as well. Is there anything else left for me to say? Basically, you're going to go around, you're going to do the skill checks, read the stories, and then basically work up to an encounter with Darling, hopefully defeat her, and then have an encounter with Dr. Lobo and hopefully defeat him. That is basically what's going to happen in this game. Another 2 locations that I haven't talked about is the ones with the buildings here. Those are headquarters. If you rest there, then you can heal up to the max and have your max resolve back. You also have the plane. Basically, when you go there, you can take the plane to any other airport on the board. Also, how does your turn actually work? You can move and an encounter, or you can rest. So when you can move up to 2 spaces. You can also choose not to move at all. And after you can move up to 2 spaces, like I said, but then you can also spend resolve to increase those movements. So for example, if I want to move 3 spots, I'll use 1 resolve and then my movement of 2. All right, you can also resolve, like when you do checks, you will roll the dice. And if you roll this, that basically means spend 1 resolve and it turns into a success, right? The guns are always successes, and the Illuminati sign are always fails. And once again, if I fail an encounter, Dr. Lobo will move forward towards me, which is bad. So you want to try to make sure to complete as many as possible. Also, you can try to role play as much as you want, or just go for pure chaos. Because on the cards, when you have a choice of how to react, you can react in character, or just say, I'm going to roll a die and see what happens, and embrace the chaos, so to speak. Now you can see there's nothing on here. I have it on the right side because first I'm going to tell you something about Jean Léon, codenamed the Cleaner, because there is a story on the back. Leaves no trace and no survivors. Jean Léon. Jean grew up in Casablanca, Morocco, where he fell in love with a girl from a wealthy family. Jean himself came from meager upbringings, and they knew their love would not be accepted by the girl's father. The 2 made plans to elope, but the girl's father discovered their plan the night they were going to leave. Furious at his daughter's defiance, he beat her to death and vowed to kill Jean. Knowing he could not stop the girl's father, Jean took their savings and fled, ending up in Spain. The memories of his love haunted him, keeping him up at night as they echoed constantly in his head. One day, Jean came across a 12-year-old girl crouched on the ground crying. When Jean approached her, asking, "What's wrong?" she looked up at him, eyes red, tears streaming down her face, and said, "He killed my baby, sir. He killed my..." Jean was shocked by her story and unsettled by her appearance. Covered with bruises on her arms and marks on her face, she told of the murder of her entire family. The regret of not doing anything to avenge his love had been eating at him every day. All of the memories of that day came flooding back, and something inside of him finally snapped. Jean told her not to worry and vowed to avenge her family. That's how his first mission began. He cleaned that killer and all of his associates up off the face of the planet, making them disappear. Jean faded into the shadows shortly after that, taking the odd job here and there. Only whispers would tell the tale of the man with round glasses showing up and cleaning house. A mysterious, well-connected employer would contract Jean whenever needed. With Dr. Lobo's grandiose plan of world domination now in full effect, the director hired Jean to help eliminate Dr. Lobo by any means necessary. So that is Jean Léon, codename The Cleaner. And he has 4 health, 6 resolve. He starts with 2 spycraft, 1 persuasion, 1 deception, 1 athletics, and 0 hand-to-hand. Okay, and then we have Darling, the henchman. She's the world's greatest grifter and member of Smersh, known only as Darling, an adopted moniker given to her by her father. She grew up in a life of luxury with a genius-level intellect and stunningly good looks. The only person she ever truly loved was her father. After witnessing him in a panic, her and her family were put into witness protection. Her life of luxury was revoked and replaced with meager accommodations and fear. Her father was no longer the person she admired and looked up to, but rather a shell of a man who one day mysteriously disappeared. The cops seemed too afraid to do anything about it, which pushed Darling to action and evolution. Darling went off on her own, practicing her craft and manipulation and cunning to build her fortune. With which she started her own tech companies that pushed the boundaries of cybernetic enhancement and integration. Recently, she was approached by the infamous Dr. Lobo. After dangling the promise of reuniting with her father in front of her, Darling is now one of his henchmen, an agent of Smersh. So if I defeated her, we'll just flip her over, but for now, she is alive and well. And we need 4 intel to take her out. So, time to start the game. Mission briefing. The director of the UN Intelligence Committee has contacted you through a secure channel. He tells you that hundreds of government spies all around the world have been disappearing and turning up dead. Only the best of the best are still alive. You are one of those spies, Leon. He's putting together a global interagency task force, and he needs you to stop the world's most infamous evil mastermind, Dr. Lobo. Reports say that Lobo's assembled his own organization, Smersh, and his objective is not only to bring death to all spies, but to take over the entire world. Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to work together with allied agents to bring down Lobo's henchmen, and force them to lead you to Lobo himself. Once you find Lobo, take him down by any means necessary. The director will do whatever he can to help you from inside the UN, putting all of their resources and intel at your disposal. Do your best to stay alive, and eliminate Lobo and his henchmen as soon as possible. Good luck out there. Alright, so you can die in this game, by the way. But I do have 4 health, so I should be able to avoid it a little bit. Alright, so let's see. Now, I started in Casablanca because I have a secret mission for Casablanca. So I'm just going to stay where I am, and I'm going to draw a Africa card and see what happens. So, incoming message. Agent, it's time. Let's go. Proceed with mission gun battle. Choose your path. So, as I said, we have number 14, and now we can choose impress, on your guard, rely on instinct, persuade, admire, detain, or intimidate. So, I think I'm going to I'm going to be on my guard, maybe, because persuade, admire, detain, intimidate, that's not what he's good at. So it's either on your guard or rely on instinct. No, I'm going to rely on instinct. So 14, 3, and then roll my dice. So 14, 3, and 2. So 14, 3, 2. Take the huge book. Boom. 14, 3, 2. 14, 3, 2. Okay. You pose as the aide to an influential diplomat who is in fear of her life. A professional assassin has eliminated a dozen high-level politicians in the past 2 years without leaving a single trace of his identity. At a dinner party, you chat with all the guests, and there is one about whom you have a very bad feeling. When he leaves the party, you follow him. Next, you find yourself pinned down in an alleyway taking gunfire. Whenever you try to move, a bullet whistles past your head. So, the test is athletics +1, so it's 2. Pass with speed or lucky, but I don't have any of those. So I have to roll 2 dice, and I need to have 1 success. So let's see if I manage to get 1 success. I do. Here's 1 success, and I could have had potentially 2 with this one, but I don't need it, so I pass. There's only one way out of this. You steel yourself, then run hell for leather down the alley, zigzagging from one side to the other. As you reach the end, you jump onto a trash can and launch yourself at the assassin. After dusting yourself off, you return to the party to inform the diplomat that her problems are over. Raise any skill. So, I'm thinking I'm going to raise hand to hand, so everything is at least 1. Okay, so, and that is Casablanca. So in Casablanca, I can get the status lucky or 2 intel. I wouldn't mind getting lucky, especially because that would have given me a pass now. But there's, of course, no way of knowing it's going to help me down the line. Getting intel is always good. I'm going to go for lucky, just so you guys can see what everything, what it does, what it is. Lucky. Here we go. So I'm now, my status is watch and also lucky. Whenever you take a gamble action, you may reroll up to 2 of your dice. Okay. I can also discard this card to reroll all dice in any test or gamble action you fail. You'd rather be lucky than good, but why not be both? Oh yeah. Flavor text on watch is, it was about time for a new design from Dr. FX. Okay, so I'm going to move Darling up, move these 3 up, and put this one here. And then this one goes away. This will be the discard. And draw a new one, which is North America, the Yukon. Uncover Smersh influence. Okay. I can still put these here, actually. There's still room. All right, so that is the first round done. Nothing happens after the round. It's just we keep going. He doesn't move because I didn't fail anything. So I'm in Casablanca. I cannot fly, but I think Beijing isn't too far away, if I'm not mistaken. Beijing is all the way over here. It's kind of far away, actually. Yeah, Yukon is over there. So everything is actually far away. I guess we go to Mumbai, because whatever happens in Mumbai, I would get an advanced skill because of who I am. Yeah, on my way to Beijing. Okay, so 1, 2. Actually, yeah. So I'm in Mumbai. So that is Asia. Let's see what happens. Now or never, agent. I got this. Proceed with mission, breaking and entering. Choose your path. So observe, quick action, test your limits with determination, get assistance. Let's have some fun and at all costs. I think observe is more his style. So 2, 1, and then roll a die. 2, 1. I get 1 resolve, but I'm maxed out and roll again. 2, 1, 4. Okay. 2, 1, 4. Shouldn't have to go too far, right? 2, 1, 4. You receive an anonymous telegram which states that a large, bald man wearing rings on his fingers is taking out your hotel room. The message advises you to vacate. Spycraft -2, which basically becomes 0 and then I have 1. Or Deception -2. +3 with status lucky. Okay. So Deception is 1. +3 is 4 -2. So I'm going to do Deception. And I can roll 2 dice. Yeah, okay. So it's good that I kept lucky, I guess. If I have at least 1 success now. Oh, this is a fail. But with this, I can spend 1 resolve and turn it into a success. So that's done. Pass. Using a mannequin borrowed from a clothing store, you set a trap in your room. You open your curtains, then go across the street so you have a clear view into your room. At midnight, 3 men break in and give the dummy a good beating, setting off your trap. The room fills with sleep gas and knocks them out. 1 resolve, okay. And status lucky. I already have it. No, too bad. So basically, if it's lucky, okay, it's kind of stupid. If it's lucky, I get lucky. All right, so then I can get an advanced skill. I think I will use vehicle use, maybe. It's kind of funny to do. So he's now good at using vehicles. Yay. All right, so this is Asia. Up. So for now, I'm keeping Lobo away, so it's good. And then intel is placed everywhere. So one intel here, and placed in all the bases, the enemy bases. Intel here. And then Leon fainted. And then one more intel there. But is it 1 or 2 though? Three, 2, 1, just 1. All right, so let's continue then. I'm still on my way to Beijing, so I'm just gonna keep doing that. So 1, 2, here in Beijing. If I finish my turn and I'm still in Beijing, I'll be able to pick up the intel. So Beijing, so Asia again. Hello there, agent. Go ahead. Proceed with mission breakout. Choose your path. Okay, so escape, confront, be reckless, wait, challenge, be careful, or be spontaneous. I think I'm going to wait. So 11, 4, and 2. 11, 4, 2. 11, 4, and 2. 11, 4, 2. All right. You feel so battered that even your eyelids ache as you peel them open and take in the total darkness surrounding you. You have no recollection of how you got here. You try to sit up, managing to rise just a couple of inches before your head thuds against wood. Dazed by pain, you fumble in your pocket for your gold lighter. You flick it to life. Panic instantly washes over you. You are inside a coffin. There is a tracking device in the heel of your shoe. But can you stay calm long enough for the UN to find you? So test Spycraft +1. So I have 3 dice that I can roll. And pass with adventuring. So I have 3 dice. I only need 1 hit. So let's hope it's enough. Oh yeah, it would have been more than enough. Okay, so I pass. Despite your desperate predicament, you calm yourself, forcing yourself to take controlled, regular breaths. Remaining calm, you conserve your air supply until you are found. Raise any skill. Alright, I'm going to increase my deception. There we go. Alright, so that was okay. Could have gotten a lot worse, I guess. And you can, I think, slowly you're seeing the downside of the metal dice. They don't really roll that easily, right? For example, okay, that was kind of okay, but if I do the same thing here, it goes way farther. But I'm going to use the metal ones anyway. Okay, so it's done. Moves forward. I get the intel here, and also I finish Asia. So it's 1 intel or gain advanced skill, electronics. I'm going to go for electronics. I think that's more difficult to get than the intel. And then I get a new one, and that is Macau. Oh, it's really close. Undercover in a blood cult. Gain 1 intel or 1 deception. Okay, well, obviously I'm going to go to Macau. I think that was it, right? I was in Casablanca, I did that. Number 2 was Mumbai, I did that. Then I went to Beijing at 3, and now at 4 there. Okay. So, Macau, Asia. And I'll be able to increase my hand-to-hand at the end of this. Agent, report in. Ready. Proceed with mission Daring Infiltration. Choose your path. Observe, quick action, test your limits with determination, get assistance, let's have some fun at all costs. I think observe is really his style. So 13, 1, and 5. So 13, 1, 5. 13, 1, and 5. 13, 1, and 5. 13, 1, 5. There are cameras everywhere in the complex. It may be impossible to get inside, the director tells you. If you get caught, their government will not treat you kindly. A pharmaceutical company has a backdoor arrangement to sell dangerous compounds to Smersh. You need to get inside and get the evidence you need. Deception -2, basically 0, +2 with stealth or disguise. But I don't have any of those. So I get to roll 1 die and 1 die only to see if I pass. Now I think there are ways to actually increase that by using resolve, but I think you can only do that before you start reading. No. Before rolling dice, you may spend any amount of resolve to treat the tested basic skill as though it were 1 level higher than it is for each resolve spent. But it's not forever. So I'm just going to spend 2 resolve, which will give me 3 dice to roll. Because 2 resolve will make my deception 4, but then deception is -2, right? Yeah, it was -2. So I still have, wait, deception was -2. So, okay, let's spend another one. So I have 3 dice to have 1 success. Okay, I shouldn't have spent that much probably, but okay. Pass, you have a keen eye and love a challenge. Disguising yourself as a security guard gets you in the gates, but getting deep inside is trickier. You take note of all the cameras, slip past the easy ones, create a feedback loop on several others, and cover up the last few. 1 resolve, so I get 1 back, that's good. 1 intel, that's nice. And then because we did Macau, I get +1 deception. I think that's more valuable than the intel. And the new one that comes out is Zanzibar in Africa. Gain 1 intel or gain gun. I guess that is weapon use. And also, because I'm in Macau, I increased my hand-to-hand. There we go. That was nice. Okay, and then we add intel everywhere again. So 1, 1, 1, 1. I do feel like I need more intel if I want to fight Darling, though, because intel during a confrontation with Darling, intel would allow me to re-roll as well, or change the results, the ones that are the lightning. Okay, so we have North America, the Yukon, but I'm quite far away from any airport. I think I'm going to go to Alice Springs because there's 2. Oh, Zanzibar should have another one. Oh, but I'm supposed to go to Zanzibar, right? And there's 2 intel there. Oh, and actually I forgot. I made a mistake at Beijing. If I have an encounter at a base, I always have to use 5 when rolling the dice. So, yeah, I forgot what I did. But anyway, if I win or lose, it's with an asterisk, I guess. Alright, so I think I'll move 3 to get to Zanzibar. So 1, 2, 3. That means I spend 1 resolve for the 3rd movement and then reveal Africa. Agent, you there? You bet. Proceed with mission provocation. Choose your path. No compromise, trick, scoff, go for broke, meditate, the better part of valor, or examine. Now I think I could do trick because I have spycraft and deception, sorry. But then might be persuasion as well. Meditate might be good. I'll go for trick, number 2. So 18, 2, and 5, because it's an enemy base, always has to be 5. So 18, 2, and 5. Okay. 18, 2, 5. You are black flagged by a local crime syndicate, and insiders tell you that a rooster's an infamous Italian has been hired to take you out tonight while you sleep. You are advised to leave immediately, but you want to meet this famous Italian killer, so you set your trap. Okay, deception -2. That would mean I'm still at 1, so 1 die. Or hand-to-hand 2. I need 2 successes, so I have 2. But +2 with weapon use or lucky. So I'm lucky, so I'm going to go for weapon use. I can roll 4 dice, and I need 2 successes. Otherwise, it's deception for 1 success, but then 1 die, 1 success. Okay, 4 dice for 2 successes. Let's see. Oh yeah, 3 successes. Done. Pass. With only your Walther, the gun, and your keen senses, you lie in your bed listening. Anticipating a trap, the Italian avoids the bedroom and searches the rest of the cottage. You sneak downstairs and put a bullet in his back. Heal 1, not necessary. Raise any skill. I'm going to raise spycraft. I'm a spy after all. So now I have 3, 1, 3, 1, 2. Okay, cool. That was a pass. So I managed to take more intel. So I have 4 now. And because it's Zanzibar, I also gain weapon use. Yeah, because advanced skills often let you just pass stuff and you don't have to worry about it. New secret mission is Australia, Melbourne. So here, gain 1 and +1 to hand. Okay. It's funny that sometimes they write it out and sometimes they use an icon. But anyway, okay, so move forward, 6. So for now, this one's not moving because we haven't failed anything yet. I could actually confront Darling, but I need more intel. For sure, and it's going to be a while before new intel comes. So Melbourne is pretty far away, 4 spots. If I go to the Indian Ocean, then I can get an advanced skill. Or I could go to Casablanca, but there's no airport there. There's no airport in Africa? There's not. I think I might go to the Indian Ocean. Yeah. Yeah, I think going to Zanzibar was not the best move because it's difficult to get out of there. I don't want to really use resolve that much. So, or I go to Cape Town, then to Perth. All right, I'm just going to go to the Indian Ocean. 1, 2. That way we see what the ocean does. Agent, you there? You bet. Proceed with mission, follow that boat. Choose your path. Into the Lion's Den, a strange obsession. I'm your biggest fan. Good spy, bad spy. Act uninterested or be concerned. I'm going to number 1, Into the Lion's Den. So 46, 1, and 4. 46, 1, 4. Oh, 46 is super far in the book. 46, 1, 4. 46, 1, 4. All right, here we are. 46, 1, 4. If Mr. Big's henchman sheet is in play and you have already had your showdown with him, reroll the fate die for a new encounter. No. Mr. Big has taken a vacation, cruising the 7 seas in his yacht. In the middle of the ocean, he won't expect an attack, so you hope to catch him off guard. You swim out of the submarine's torpedo tube and up to the surface. You see a fishing line trailing behind Mr. Big's boat and pull on it. It comes as quite a surprise to him when he finally lands his catch. So test Spycraft 2. So I do have 3 dice that I can use for Spycraft. But I'll spend 1 more resolve to have 4 dice. Because I need to have 2, so... Oof. Oh my goodness. So I spend 2 resolve to change these 2 in successes. Yeah. So that was lucky. Almost failed. Pass. If Mr. Big's henchman's sheet is in play, add a success token to it. Retreat Dr. Lobo. Otherwise, place 1 intel on each ocean space. So basically I just created intel all over the ocean, but I can't take it because it was placed on my turn. So that's kind of lame. And I guess he's not retreating because it's the wrong henchman. Mr. Big can be a henchman. So yeah, I'm not exactly happy with that, to be honest. I mean, it's nice to have more intel scattered around, but meh. Yeah, not a fan. not a fan. And of course, gotta get my skill though. So at least there's that. So I think I'm gonna do stealth because that fits him as well. All right, so move forward. 7. I kind of need to go to a headquarters, but there's no headquarters in Australia. Oh, so annoying. In Australia, there's an airplane though, so I could fly to a headquarters, but I don't have any resolve, so I can't fly. This gives me resolve though. Perth. Let's go to Alice Springs. 1, 2 for this. Yeah. So that means I have to use 5 though. So Australia. Agent, you ready? That's it. Proceed with mission and mystery to solve. Choose your path. So, madder than a cut snake, lie through your teeth, blow up some steam, keep him guessing, bide your time, have a drink, threaten pain. So, I am going to bide my time. So, 5755. Oh, it's all the way in the back of the book. 5755. 57, 5, and 5. Okay, here. 5755. While the CIA and the UN service don't always see eye to eye, largely as a result of the massive arrogance and occasional incompetence of the former, you're usually on the same side. After a botched attempt to assassinate the Aussie butcher, all CIA activity in your location ceases and their agents are nowhere to be found. This doesn't look good. You track the butcher across Australia to a compound where he has 3 senior CIA operatives hostage. Test spycraft -2. So I only have 1 die. I can always discard one of these cards if it ends up badly. And I can also use flash grenade if it ends up badly. I can't use anything else, so... Well, this isn't really... Yeah, okay, let's just say there's a failure. So I use my flash grenade. Reroll any number of dice after you fail a test. So, alright, second try. Oh, my goodness. So I'll discard... watch. Yeah, I'll discard watch. So these status cards, they are never shuffled, so that's why they're alphabetically organized, so it's easy to find stuff. I'll put it back. All right, third time, come on. Oh my goodness. Okay, I discard lucky. I really don't want to fail this. I haven't read the failure, but I just really don't want to fail. So I'm no longer lucky either. Okay, come on. I need to have at least, let's see. Oh my goodness. Fail. All right, so anyway, fail. The compound is more heavily fortified than you anticipated. You escape, though not before the butcher's men claim 2 of your fingers as trophies. 1 injury, obviously. Status, 3 fingers salute. That's a status. Do not advance, Dr. Lobo. Okay, at least that's good. 3 fingers salute. It's probably nothing good. But I do get the intel though. Because you get it no matter what. So at least there's that. I mean, I think so. I'll double check. If an encounter involves you using a weapon of any kind, gun, knife, bat, and so on, you receive a -1 penalty to your tests. Resolve ambiguities in your favor. So I can rest at an HQ and spend 1 resolve to discard it. 5-finger fillet leads to a 3-finger salute. Okay. Anyway, so let me check if I can actually get the intel. I do get it, so that's good news. I don't lose it. Okay, the problem with these kind of books is that sometimes it's a bit difficult to make sure they stay in the rings. So be careful. Okay. So I do get the intel. I have 6 intel. I think, and this moves forward, so there's intel everywhere now, added to the bases. So I think I should go to one of those bases, get 3 intel, but also go to my home base. So home base could be Santiago, but I cannot make it. Is there a home base that's also an airport? I think so. I seem to remember seeing a home base that was also an airport. Here, Tokyo is an airport and a home base. Is that the only place? And Rio de Janeiro, which is kind of good because it's close to Santiago, which has 3 intel. Okay, so 1, 2 to Rio, and I rest. So up, this is all the way up, and then I actually go down to 5 because I discard the 3-finger salutes. So basically I got healed. Sadly, however, this was 1 turn. So that means that Lobo is coming closer and closer. Alright, so I spend 1 resolve to go to Santiago. And if I pick up that intel, I'm gonna go after Darling for sure. So 1, 2, 3, Santiago. Yeah, I get the intel regardless. So, oh no, it's only if I end my turn there. So South America. Now or never, agent. I got this. Proceed with mission. Personal vendettas. Choose your path. Take charge. I'd rather be lucky. Unorthodox. Frightened. Joke. Trust no one. I'm going to do trust no one. So 8, 6, and 5. That's not good because the 5s tend to be difficult. 8, 6, 5. 8, 6, 5. 8, 6, 5. 8, 6, 5. Here we go. An ex-KGB member makes contact with you, asking to meet you in an outdoor cafe for vodka and coffee. You find your schedule open today, so you agree to meet, curious what he has to tell you. Apparently 2 high-ranking UN agents are actually KGB moles. You ask him why he is telling you this, and his reply is simple. I take my revenge by any means possible. The KGB was never my friend. Trust no one, agent, not even your director. I do not know what these men look like, but I know they exist. I have read their reports. This puts you in an awkward position, if you believe him. So test deception -2, so that puts me on 1. +2 with detection. Don't have that. Is this special skill detection? Yeah. Stealth. I do have that. Or lucky. So I have 5 deception -2. So I have 3 dice to get 1 success. Alright. I think that should be doable, even though I just had the worst luck ever. Okay, doable now. Alright, so pass. You take this to the one person you know you can trust, Dr. FX. He does not seem concerned, but says he will investigate. This results in the arrest of one of the KGB moles, and at least now the UN is aware that there is another. Status, trusted. Alright, does it mean I wasn't trusted before? How rude. So, South America. And I get the intel. Yay. Boom. So, trusted. In all encounters that involve the director sending you a message or speaking with you directly, you may reroll a single die if you fail that encounter. Interpret ambiguities in your favor. And discard this card to pass a failed persuasion test. Even your superiors would happily put their lives in your hands. So move forward to 10. So I'm going to encounter Lobo soon, but before that, of course, I'm going to go for Darling. Dun dun dun. So that is a big encounter. Darling. Darling grew up in a life of luxury to a rich family of the top 1% of the 1%. She was a good daughter, a model student, and a fast learner. A genius-level intellect, she grew bored easily in class and started to find it more interesting to manipulate others to do her bidding. Beyond her intellect were her good looks, which she learned to use to her advantage at an all too early age. She would use her assets to push, trick, or influence all of the people around her into believing that what they did was their free will, but it wasn't. Darling grew all too fond of being a puppet master and accustomed to getting her way. The only person she truly loved was her father. She looked up to him and tried to follow his example. Then came the day her world flipped upside down. After being dropped off from school, she witnessed her father in a panic, talking to a group of men in suits. From then, a turbulent series of events ensued. They sold the house, their cars, furniture, clothes, and moved away. No more private school, no more chauffeur. They got new identities, lived in an apartment, and had to check in constantly. The one thing she got to pick in this arrangement was her new name. This is when she became Darling, the pet name her father always called her. Her father was no longer the person she knew, but rather a shell of a man, withering away, constantly in fear. A month after being put into the witness protection program, her father disappeared. The same men in suits that she had seen with her father that fateful day promised he'd turn up, but behind that pretty smile, she knew the truth. She always did. That's when she decided she would never be the person her father was. She would not live in fear. She would never depend on anyone else ever again, especially the spineless cops. Darling left that day, vowing to never be in fear, but to instead become what people feared, to never rely on anyone else, but to always rely on herself. She became a globetrotter, taking all sorts of jobs as a grifter, a thief, a mercenary, amassing her own wealth, her own power. She became the world's most elusive and most successful con artist. Dangerously cunning, drop-dead gorgeous, unrelentingly manipulative, and utterly toxic. She became a radical transhumanist, convinced that the only way the human race can advance is through a union with machines, and funneled cash into a number of startups that would carry out her mission. Darling never failed, was never outsmarted, always in control, especially on an easy mark like this one. She approached, but before she could speak, he looked her in the eyes and said, "Hello. Nice to meet you." For the first time in her life, she was speechless. "Who are you and how do you know my real name?" she said, as she reached for her very large gun. He just sat there and calmly, robotically even, introduced himself. "I am Dr. Lobo. I have an offer for you. You will get to keep your lifestyle intact. Your empire will grow bigger than you would possibly imagine with some help from my new technology. And of course, your secret will remain just that, a secret. You will work for me and stay in my service until my plan is executed." Darling laughed. "Why would I take this offer when I could just kill you now?" Dr. Lobo, emotionless, unblinking, says, "I will bring you to your father. You can finally be reunited. Perhaps I'll even reward you with vengeance against those who took him from you." Darling stared into Dr. Lobo's eyes. She kept up her facade while deep down fire raged and emotion swelled. After a short silence, Darling took a breath and smiled as she put her gun away and said, "Okay, Doc, what do you need me to do?" Dr. Lobo said one word, "Smersh." So, let's start the showdown. Number 1. Your confidential informant has given you the location of Darling, stating if you want to catch her off guard, she will be attending a gala hosted by one of her tech companies. The event is supposedly a cover for the underworld's most nefarious crime lords and villains, and possibly other members of Smersh. You could infiltrate the gala in hopes of catching and confronting Darling there, or perhaps it's better to stay in the shadows and ambush Darling after the gala is over. So, I get to choose ambush Darling after the gala, or listen to the CI and infiltrate the gala to confront Darling. But actually, we're going too fast. So I'm going to put this to the side because it's actually at the end of the round. So this is the start of the round. So I can still do something and then confront her. And I also haven't spent for intel yet. So I also need to do that. So I can actually improve myself a little bit more. So I think it's either going to be Sydney for one of these, or it's going to be Lima or Georgetown to increase my deception. So, because I don't want to spend any resolve, obviously. I think I might go to Sydney. Or I do spend one resolve and go to Melbourne so I can get hand to hand. Oh, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. Melbourne's not that interesting. And North America, the Yukon, is really far away. Yeah. I have to spend 5. No, 1, 2, 3, 4. I have to spend 3 just to get a bunch of intel. Actually, I would spend 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. I would spend 3 to get 3, which is kind of the same thing. So I think I will just go to Georgetown. Yeah, 1, 2. So, South America. Hello there, agent. Go ahead. Proceed with mission. Emergency orders. Choose your path. Taunt, overreact, stay calm, cry, blend in, stand out, laugh at. Obviously blend in. So 37, 5, and 5. Why is it always 5? 37, 5, 5. Okay. 37, 5, 5. 37, 5, 5. You move down the crowded street, as alert as you have ever been. Any one of these anonymous people could be a Smersh agent, just waiting to put a bullet in your head. You can't let that put you off, of course. You're on a vital emergency mission on which the security of the known world depends. Wait, what was that suspicious movement off to your left? You keep your hand on your gun in your pocket. So hand to hand, -1, so it puts me on 1. +2 with detection or stealth. I do have stealth, so my hand to hand is actually 4, -1, 3. So I roll 3 dice and try to get 1 success. Well, I get 3 successes. Boom, boom, boom. Pass. You make it to your hotel alive and are about to holster your gun when there is a noise outside of your door. You hide in the bathroom, grabbing the intruder and throwing them onto the bed. It is a young woman. Don't shoot, she cries. I have information for you. Status corduroy blue. So that's kind of good. You know, I get a status in that last turn. So corduroy blue. Let's see what the status does. Play this card by the board. Henchman costs 1 less intel to confront. Nice. When all henchmen have been confronted, discard this card and gain 1 intel. The strange and estranged daughter of Fedor can tell you a few things about Dr. Lobo's elusive henchman. Alright, so that's the end of my turn. Well, I increased deception. I spent 3 intel instead of 4, thanks to this. So I have a lot of stuff now. And now we move over to Darling. Okay, so once again, ambush Darling after the gala, or listen to the CI and infiltrate the gala to confront Darling. I'm going to listen to the CI and go to number 10. You believe that your CI suggestion is the right move, and you decide to crash the gala hosted by Janus X, one of Darling's most lucrative technology companies, in hopes of catching Darling unaware. Of course, you're always well dressed for the occasion. You blend in seamlessly amongst the ball gowns and ballers alike. Hors d'oeuvres are passed around and champagne is served even before you get through the door. You grab a drink and walk past the front desk, getting in line to enter the gala. There's a woman checking names at the ballroom entrance, though you are surely not on the list. So test persuasion. Persuasion is only 1, +2 with disguise. Okay, so I'm gonna spend 1 resolve and 1 intel to get this deception up to 3. Sorry, persuasion up to 3. I only need 1 hit, so alright, so I got 1 hit, fine. Pass. You decide to talk your way in as you're feeling and looking quite good today. You take a look at a few files to brush up on who's attending this gala this evening and prepare to make your best bluff. You put on your most confident swagger and approach the woman at the door. The woman looks you up and down and appears to like what she sees. You playfully distract her as she scans the list for your name, until she eventually ushers your group inside with a sly grin. You press a piece of paper into her palm. It's a fake number, of course, but she won't find that out until later. Add a success token to Darling's henchman sheet and advance to number 11. Encounter 11. Okay. You walk into the ballroom feeling supremely confident, heads all around turned to gaze in your direction. You make your way around the perimeter of the room, getting the lay of the land. An old waiter with white hair approaches you from behind and in a strange accent offers you champagne. You take the 2 glasses of champagne from him, and as you turn, you spot Darling, just the person you wanted to see. She is surrounded by a group of men and women, all vying for her attention and adoration. With champagne in hand, you stride boldly toward her, formulating a plan to catch her eye and get her alone so you can question her about Dr. Lobo. Test deception. Oh, I have 4, so that's pretty good. +2 with seduction. I don't have seduction, but I do have 4 with deception, so let's see. 1 and then 2, but I only need 1 hit, so perfect. Pass. You approach Darling and hand her a glass of champagne. To the chagrin of her other suitors, she thanks you and takes your arm. You and Darling break off from the group and you begin social engineering, talking about recent tech discoveries and investments in her companies. It's all a lie, of course, but you find yourself enjoying the conversation just the same. A quiet respite from the thrill of spy work. A hulking goon in a suit walks over and tells her that the mayor and the governor of New York are here to see her. I have some minor business to handle. Perhaps we continue this conversation in private? Darling excuses herself, but not before she presses something into your hand. A key with a gold tag that reads Penthouse. Gain the status Cool Under Pressure. Add a success token to Darling's henchman sheets. Advance to encounter 14. So Cool Under Pressure. Okay. When you fail a persuasion or athletics test, you may reroll a single die. And I can discard this card to reroll a single die in any test I fail. Ice in summer wouldn't melt on you. Okay. So 14. So I'm going up to the penthouse. Darling's penthouse. 14. Here. You steel your nerves in front of the golden doors of the elevator. You have no idea what Darling has in store for you upstairs. Taking a deep breath, you summon the elevator using the key card, and it arrives almost immediately, then carries you swiftly to the top floor of the hotel. The door to the penthouse suite is guarded by 2 of Darling's jacked, steroid-enhanced henchmen, but to your surprise, they let you in without a word. Darling is inside, reclining on a chaise lounge as gentle jazz music plays in the background. She rises as you enter and sachets over to you, extending a hand coyly. Okay. May I have this dance? She asks. She reaches out and takes your hand in hers. Test athletics, +1 with speed. So athletics is only 1. So I'm going to spend 1 resolve on one of these to raise it to 3. And you only need 1 hit, so I got a hit. Pass. You've done this dance before. You're happy to play her game. You take her soft but unnaturally cold hands in yours and begin swaying slowly, gracefully to the music. She seems surprised, and you see another strange color, this time green, glint in her eye as the music changes and gets faster. Add a success token to Darling's henchman sheet. Advance to encounter 15. As you hold Darling close, you notice something is a little off about her. She moves so smoothly to the music, each move perfectly precise, until she is like water in your hands. She holds your gaze and you see what looks like an electronic mesh overlay across her irises. She smiles and reveals unnaturally uniform teeth that seem to have covered in some sort of reflective coating. She notices your study of her and asks, "What? Like you've never thought about it? Upgrading yourself?" With a hint of distortion in her melodic voice. Test Spycraft 2, +2 with electronics. So I have electronics 2, so I have 5 dice, but I need 2 hits. So 2 hits with 5 dice. Here we go. 1, 2 hits. Okay, cool, done. Clearly, Darling is fishing for compliments, and you take the opportunity to do so. You act awestruck and curious as you discuss her upgrades. The more she tells you, the better you can gauge her, and she's all too happy to indulge, telling you about her enhanced cyber eyes, reinforced titanium bone structure, internal adrenaline pump, and her favorite, reflexes or electronic reflexes. You're actually quite impressed and saddened at the same time. She's truly losing her humanity. Gain 1 intel. Add a success to Darling's henchman sheet. Advance to encounter 16. That's why I threw my lot in with him, of course, Lobo. We have some shared interests. He's able to tear down all this red tape holding us back. The governments and the rest of the sheep of the world would take decades to approve this kind of technology. And that's if your people ever let it get out to the public, she says. Don't you want to better yourself for the future? She looks up at you so earnestly, her eyes glistening, welling with tears that you actually have to wonder. You can hear the music starting to come to an end, and your reverie along with it. You want this to continue, but you're on a mission. Time is of the essence, and Dr. Lobo is at large. Is now the time to strike? Test hand-to-hand 2, +1 with electronics. I have electronics, and hand-to-hand is 2, so I have 3 dice. But I need to have 2 successes, so I'm going to spend 1 more resolve and 1 more of these. So I'm going to roll... Oh, wait. No, just 1 more resolve. So that's 4 dice for 2 successes. Let's see. Oh, okay, got it. Pass. You've observed her enough to feel like you can take her down using hand-to-hand. Regardless of how you feel about her upgrades and her larger goals for humanity, you still have your mission. With Darling still in your hands, striking now is an opportunity you can't let pass. You tighten your grip around her, trying to smother her in a chokehold as you try to kill her. Raise hand-to-hand. Advance to encounter 21. Darling reacts immediately as your grip tightens. Her hands are still free and she manages to pull a golden gun from an internal holster, embedded with her cybernetic thigh, pressing it into your belly. Let go, she says, and her voice is low and dangerous. You release her and you both back away from each other. She keeps her gun trained on you as you size each other up, the air between you thick with tension. You're the one to break it as you lunge forward to try and grab the gun. Test hand-to-hand plus success tokens. So I have 3 hand-to-hand, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 3, so 6. And I only need to have 1 hit. That's not a lot. Okay. So I don't think I can roll more than 6. So I have a hit. Fine. Darling's upgrades can't match your years of training. Her grip on the gun is tight, inhumanly so. So you twist her arm backwards at the elbow, causing her to cry out in pain and drop to the floor. With the gun in your hands now, Darling is at your mercy. Add a success token to Darling's henchman sheet. If you have 3 or more success tokens on Darling's henchman sheet, advance to conclusion D. So that's what we'll do. Conclusion D. The time to strike has come. You've learned enough. You've played her game and now it's time for her to play yours. Your training comes flooding into the forefront of your mind, and with lightning fast reflexes and the knowledge of most of her cybernetics that she's stupidly exposed, you hit a pressure point in the side of her neck. One place your intel said she could still feel normal sensation. The lights in her eyes rotate strange colors until you hear a cracking sound as if you broke something in there. She goes stiff and falls heavily to the floor. Darling lies there twitching strangely. She struggles to move. You must have damaged her, permanently. You're not sure what can be done for her, and a shred of empathy comes in as you comfort her. In her final moments you implore her to reveal Dr. Lobo's location. She coughs up what you think is blood, but it's more viscous and iridescent, like an oil-slicked dark green tar. The waiter. Remember the champagne? Yeah, he was a little old and really strange to be a cocktail waiter. Her sad laughing is interrupted as she coughs up more tar. Why couldn't you just let us move forward in peace? She says, suddenly serious. A whole new world awaiting us, and you would see it kept in an ivory tower forever. This technology belongs to the people, and they will have it. All your testing and regulations be damned. She sighs, and the mesh irises in her eyes begin to shift into glitching, strange colors. In other circumstances, it might have been beautiful. As her eyes close, she reaches behind her ear, and you hear a click. Please, just do one thing for me. When you take down Lobo, find my father and tell him that I... She tries to hand something to you, but her hand falls before she can reach you. Darling is dead. You open her fingers and take what she had tried to give you, a computer chip, emblazoned with the logo of Janus X, the mysterious microchip conglomerate located somewhere in Central America. If what Darling said was true, Lobo was here and you let him get away. You have to find him. Gain 2 intel. Each player gains the advanced skill Electronics, but I already have that. Remove all success tokens from Darling's henchman sheet. Up. And flip it face down to mark that she is defeated. Defeated. If you are playing with one henchman, or Darling is the main henchman, place a success token on Mexico City. Here. Okay. On Mexico City. On any player's turn, they may move to Mexico City and instead of having an encounter, begin the showdown with Dr. Lobo A. If you are playing with multiple henchmen and Darling is not the main henchman, retreat Dr. Lobo, whatever. Return to the main map now. So, basically, I have one more turn, and I think I should just go to a headquarters and just refresh everything. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go to Rio, I think. I have Melbourne and the Yukon too, but I can't reach the Yukon. I mean, I could, but it's not worth it. And Melbourne is not headquarters anyway. So I go to Rio, and then refresh, and then so this goes like here. That's why I have to encounter Dr. Lobo. So it's Dr. Lobo A. So dun dun dun. Dr. Lobo A. Pierre. Fedor. Dr. Lobo A. Yeah. Dun dun dun. Okay. If you began this showdown before the round marker reached Dr. Lobo on the round track, and Darling is the main henchman for this game, gain 1 intel for each empty space between the round marker and the Dr. Lobo marker. That's not the case, so that doesn't happen. Okay. You have received intel. Oh, wait. It says here, corduroy blue. I get an intel, and all henchmen have been confronted. So this goes away. I gain 1 intel. So I have 3, 6, 8 intel. Hopefully, it'll be enough to take care of Dr. Lobo. I wonder if he's actually called Dr. Lobotomy. Anyway, if you have received intel that Dr. Lobo is set to arrive today at the microchip factory of tech giant Janus X in Mexico City. Oh yeah, I'm here now. Mexico. You have been dispatched to the factory to eliminate him and prevent his plans from coming to fruition. The director provides you some details on the factory and one piece of advice. Don't let Dr. Lobo escape. Eliminate him if necessary. As you leave your briefing, the director slides something into your breast pocket. Use this in the event of an emergency. You rush to your transport and head off to the factory. Approaching the facility, your helicopter lets you know it can't go any further. On radar, they detect anti-aircraft missiles, as well as automated turret systems that are nearly within range. You rappel down in the nearby wooded area and make your way closer. You avoid a few drones flying through the woods as you get within surveying distance. You use your auto hacker to disable the front security cameras and turrets so you can make your way to the door. However, even though you feel as though you've checked everything, something still feels wrong. You pause for just a second as you see a glint of sunlight from one of the factory windows. Sniper! So test athletics 2. +1 with speed. I only have 1 athletics. So I'm going to spend 3 intel to increase my athletics to 4 because I need to have 2 successes. I have 2. Okay, pass. You duck and attempt to get out of the way, jumping off to the side and covering your head. With adrenaline pumping through your body, you wait to hear a bang or see a shot, but nothing comes. You look up again where you saw the glint of light, but you see nothing. Seconds later, you hear a whirring sound, followed by a crashing explosion. You look back to see your helicopter has been shot down. You use your sensor goggles, but find no survivors. Lobo will pay for this. Add a success token to the intel pool. Advance to encounter 2. You shake it off and make your way to the door. You pull out the new auto lockpick kit Dr. FX gave you at HQ. The kit scans the lock and produces a small tool that slides into the lock and the door opens like butter. You mentally thank Dr. FX and his great instructions that come with his gadgets. As the door cracks open, you hear a low hum from within. Tests Spycraft 2, so I have 3, but I need 2 hits. Plus 1 with lockpicking or adventuring. I have none of those, again. So I will spend 2 intel to increase my Spycraft to 5. I need 2 hits. I have 2 hits, done. Pass. You remember that this is a multi-function lockpick kit. You activate it again and it immediately locates an invisible laser sensor in your way. You take out the included small reflective sticker and slide it over the sensor. Nifty. Add a success token to the intel pool. Okay. If you have not defeated Darling, advance to encounter 3. If you have defeated Darling, advance to encounter 4. Okay, so 4. You walk through a suspiciously low security section of the factory, wondering where all of the new traps and defense systems are. As if you jinxed yourself, you hear a mechanical voice. Security protocol activated. An army of small robots on tank treads roll into view. The deafening hum of their miniguns revving up in unison echoes through the corridor. Small red laser optics begin to move in your direction. Test Deception 2 and plus 2 electronics. Deception is 4. Electronics is 2, so that's 6. So I roll 6 dice. And I need to have 2 successes. I have 2 successes. Okay, I guess you could say I should roll more with a swing, like, but I only have 1 success now. Okay, well, I'll spend 1 resolve then to change this into success. 2. Pass. Thinking quickly, you throw one of your spare gun magazines behind the closest robot. The sound and movement cause the lead robot to stop and twist 180 degrees to investigate the noise. You spring forward and slide behind the closest robot, picking it up. The other robots try to target you, but can't get a clean target through their own kind. Pulling a red cable out, the robot makes a few beeping noises and then goes dead, but its minigun is still alive. You engage the weapon, cutting down the rest of them in seconds. They crackle and sizzle as you move on past a new scrap heap. Add a success token to the pool. Advance to encounter 5. Okay, so just trying to dodge as much as we can. The facility has been devoid of people, though strangely, all the machines are running. The factory is clearly producing something. Only a handful of automated systems seem to be in place to keep things going. Why would Dr. Lobo come here? As you search, you see someone shuffle into a room wearing a hazmat suit. Is that Lobo? Rather than call out, you silently sneak up behind him. Just as you're about to strike, the person in the hazmat suit wheels around with a gun trained on you. So test Persuasion first for 1 hit. So I'm going to spend 1 of these for 2 dice. I need 1 hit. Okay, I need to spend 1 to turn into a hit. Okay, then Deception 2. But I have 4. I need 2 hits. Okay, I'm not going to spend anything. I'm just going to trust my 4 now. Okay, 1 and spend another resolve to turn this into a hit. So both is done. You put on a play stupid act. This can't be Dr. Lobo or you would already be dead. You say you are here to make repairs to some of the automated systems. The person seems to believe you, relaxing their defenses for just a moment. You quickly disarm them, incapacitate them, and stow them in a nearby storage bin. Add a success token to the intel pool. If you have not defeated Darling, If you have defeated Darling, advance to encounter 7. Searching room to room, you make your way to the top floor. All the offices are dark, save for one open at the end of the hall. You enter to see a man with white hair standing with his back to you, facing the wall. You enter silently. The man adjusts something on his face in an awkward motion, and then turns to you. You found me. His head twitches as his voice seems to glitch. Impressive. Most impressive. He presses a button on the desk and two laser miniguns turrets spring down from the far corners of the room and set their targets on you. Tests Spycraft 2 plus 2 with electronics. So I have 3 plus 2, so I have 5. But I need to have 2 successes. So 5 to get 2 successes. Okay. So I have 2 successes. You put your hands up in surrender, then swiftly press a button on the side of your watch, emitting a minor shockwave and forcing the turrets to go limp. Thankfully, you had the EMP upgrade on your watch, perfect for this mission. You notice Dr. Lobo has a slight convulsion from which he quickly recovers. Add a success token and advance to encounter 8. Dr. Lobo watches you with blank expression and then says, "You are more clever than I could give you credit for. It's too bad you won't leave here alive." He rolls up his sleeves methodically and starts walking towards you. Test hand-to-hand 2 plus 2 with speed, so I only have 3. So I'm going to spend these 2 intel to get 5 dice and to get 2 results. So let's see, 2 hits. Okay, I get 2, so it's fine, done. Dr. Lobo is way too fast for an older man. He swings 2 wide hooks that you can't react fast enough to do anything other than dodge out of the way. The second hook collides with the wall, obliterating it as if it was hit with a battering ram. Lobo tilts his head towards you and removes his fist from the wall. He's obviously not human. Add a success token to the pool. And then if you have defeated Darling, advance to encounter 10. Dr. Lobo starts a slow walk to you, each step heavy and with malice. You frantically look around the room for something to fight him with, and in a flash of brilliance you remember. The director put something in your pocket for emergencies only. This is an emergency. You reach into your pocket and pull out a small device labeled DAM. Destructive Atomic, Magnetic and Miniature Nuke. You thought these were still in development. I guess you got the early access. Dr. Lobo is indifferent to your actions and keeps plodding towards you. You back up to the door, prepping the dam. You have decided this is where you will put him down. He shall not pass. So test Spycraft. I need to have 3 hits, plus 2 with weapon use, which I have, so that's 5, plus 2 with electronics, that's 7. So I'm going to check if 6 really is the limit to roll. I can never roll more than 6 dice. So 6 dice here to get 3 hits. Okay. So once again it was Spycraft, which is 3, plus 2 weapon use, 5, plus 2 electronics. So 3 hits. Alright, so wow, okay. So these 3, I have to spend all 3 of my resolve, so these all become hits. There we go. Pass. You back through the doorway and throw the dam at Lobo, diving for cover in the hall. You hear a low thud, a magnetic clang, and then an earth-shattering kaboom. You look back into the room and Dr. Lobo opens his hands, debris falling to the floor. His eyes are glowing, and he keeps moving forward. Add a success and go to encounter 11. Dr. Lobo is not human, and you should not fight him like one. You suspect he's either cybernetically enhanced or perhaps a full robot himself. He gets ready for another swing. Thinking fast and hoping there's enough juice left, you try to use the EMP on your watch again. With him this close, it may affect him. So test Spycraft 2, but I have 3, plus 2 electronics. So I have 5 dice to get 2 hits. Let's see. Whoa, 2 hits and 3 fails, so I got it. The EMP goes off and stuns Dr. Lobo. His eyes glitch out and he stops moving, frozen in place, and you can hear his internal circuitry attempt to recover. Probably internal, but anyway. You sweep his legs out and he face plants into the ground with a loud clang. Jumping on his back, you see a switch hidden under the hair in his head. You quickly try and flip it off before he can reboot. Add a success token. If you have defeated Darling and have 4 or more success tokens in the intel pool, I do, advance to conclusion A. You look down on Dr. Lobo's robotic body and the switch on the back of his head. This whole time he was a robot? Then the horrifying truth dawns on you. This is not Dr. Lobo. Someone built this robot. Someone programmed this robot. Somebody manufactured this robot. Someone evil. A genius. Only one person comes to mind. Dr. Lobo. You unscrew the top of Lobo's head and pull out his memory chip. You pause for a second, realizing there must be thousands more robots and nefarious tech here in this facility that must be destroyed. You access a nearby terminal and search for the self-destruct feature that must exist in this factory. And sure enough, you find it. You set it for 2 minutes and you run for safety outside. As you wait for extraction, you watch as the fruits of your labor explode into a spectacular display of fireworks, congratulating you on a job well done. You will let the director and HQ know what happened here in your full report. Hopefully, Dr. FX can safely find some new intel off of Lobo's memory chip. You know there's still a Dr. Lobo out there, but you've succeeded in your mission. Dr. Lobo is defeated. The UN spies win. For now. Okay, that's it. We won. Yay. Alright, so defeated Dr. Lobo. The robot, anyway, the fake one. And that's how the game works. Honestly, that is the game. By the way, you don't see my face. Originally, you would have seen my face, but you don't see it anymore, I mean, because the other camera overheated again, which is really annoying. As short FYI. So this is the second time I played. I got it yesterday, but I was very tired then. So it was difficult to enjoy. I think I enjoy it a little bit more now, but I think I'll enjoy it more with other people, just to see what they do. And I think I'll enjoy it more if it's more random, I think. Because now when I read the stories, we're like, oh, okay. It's always like this feeling. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Very rarely like, whoa. So I think that's maybe because of the person I play with, Jean-Léon, and he's so conservative. I mean, that's his playstyle normally. I mean, in the movie as well. So maybe I should do a playthrough where it's like very random, right? Where I just always just roll a die to see what the effect is and everything. One thing I do like is the timer, because with games like Arabian Nights, there's no timer and then it can keep going on for a long, long time. I like the production and everything. That's all fine. I like the statuses that can, you know, they're cool, the ones that I've seen so far. Yeah, it's a lot more streamlined game, I feel. And there's a lot of story entry in there, and that's cool. But I have to say, being super honest, I'm not blown away by it. I think it's just okay. Now, of course, you could argue spy movies and everything, I think they're okay. I'm not a diehard fan. Maybe as a diehard fan, it would be even better, or a lot better, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. So far, it's just been okay, my feeling. Not like, you gotta play this or whatever. But then most people who back this probably already played or have a previous version. I don't know. I want to see how it plays with other people. I have no motivation whatsoever to play double-handed. I also don't really see what that would add, except for more reading for myself. So yeah, I think I play this now and again with other people. Maybe take some of the more outrageous characters as well. Yeah, so at this moment, I think it's an okay game. Doesn't blow me away. At this moment, I would say I enjoyed Arabian Nights more because it was just more absurd. But okay, here I don't expect you to be changed into a monkey or whatever like Arabian Nights had. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe I'll try some more outrageous, go for the funniest options and see what happens then. Okay, anyway, I think that's good enough for an early reaction. My name was Joachim, and always will be. This was So Many Games Little Time. Please think about subscribing, and then actually do it as well. And that's it. Have a very nice day. Bye-bye.